Okay, here's my little addendum. And for this one, we're going to go live. Detachment. It's a word I've been throwing around a lot lately, but it's just a word. And until it comes into our own experience, unless it's experiential, it doesn't really have any meaning. It's a mental thing, it's on the surface. And when we're in heart, things on the surface aren't significant. They're interesting or whatever, but they're just not important. Now, there's a lot of talk, and I do it a lot, about ascension, about rising into higher dimensions. There's a lot of focus on December 21st of this year, and just a whole lot of talk about leaving 3D behind. I want to talk about detachment and what that means, about letting go. Now, be in heart with me. Go deep into heart and just listen. You don't have to agree, but hear me. When you're detached, it doesn't matter to you, one way or another, what happens. You're detached. It comes to you also as a part of processing your fear. When I discover a discomfort and I watch it and I find underneath of it some sort of fear, my way is to sit with this fear, to be with it, and try to take it to the most extreme. I call it the worst case scenario, whatever the situation is. If you're having a spat with your mate, take it to what if your mate left you? Take it as far as you can take it. What if you're homeless? What if? Just take it there. Go with it. Be with yourself. See what you can do to sit with the worst case scenario. Now, that doesn't mean you have to try to make it happen or want it or anything like that. It just means sit with it. That's all it means. And watch yourself. As you sit with it, if you're centered in heart, you're going to receive instruction. Now, I don't know what your particular instruction will be like. For me, what happens most often, it's not, nothing's ever just the same. But if I could say, in general, I'm shown what's under that. A lot of times with fear, it's a lack of faith and trust in yourself, in God, your higher self. But if you'll just sit with it, that declaws it, that takes its ability to scare you away from it. If you're willing to just sit with it, it's pretty cool. Now, it's not comfortable. It's certainly not that. I think it's better than going around bummed out for a long time, just kind of generally bummed out and depressed and whatnot. I think it's better to take the bull by the horns and deal with it. And just, if you need to, make plans. Recently, I told of how my Social Security disability was under review. And even though I've got no cause to worry, I found myself very concerned. And I looked at that and I thought, what the heck? And so for me, I sat with it and I pretended, okay, what will I do if the checks get cut off? And I realized I couldn't afford my home anymore, even though it's paid for. There's property taxes and there's utilities and things, and so, and I looked at it and You know, my plan B was a small motorhome, RV kind of thing. And how many years would it be before the body would qualify for regular Social Security? So I'd have 7 years. And so for 7 years, I'd have to find a way on a much smaller check. I have a military disability check too. And I'd have to sell things, you know, to be able, but the details don't matter. The idea is just to look at it. Don't be afraid to sit there, look at it, and work with your mind, because it's your mind that's afraid. Now, if you're in an intersection, you're walking across the street and someone honks their horn at you, that startle that you get is your body that's afraid. But in cases like this, it's more cerebral. It's the mind, usually. So you process your fear. Now, what I'm saying is that the heart of true detachment, maybe even just to give everyone a vision, is to let go, so that if you're so worried about how things are terrible around the world and whatnot, and that kind of thing, if you're so worried about 2012, maybe sit with, what if it doesn't happen? What if we don't ascend? What if we have to stay here and merely deal with this? It's a big thing to carve out for yourself. Maybe too big a chunk all at once. And you don't have to force yourself to sit with it all the way through. But maybe for 5 minutes, just determine that you're not going to run away from it. That's what we do. That's why we eat junk food and, you know, distract ourselves with all kinds of things. We're running. Well, as we turn our vision inward, you're going to be noticing yourself a whole lot more. You'll be getting to know yourself, and you'll be able to see when you're running. And initially, it's just fine to watch and say, okay, I see that I'm running by going over here and watching this movie. Okay, I noticed that I'm running. That doesn't mean don't watch the movie. Self-observe. Just keep watching. And if you keep watching while you're centered in heart, two things will happen. Your inner tutor will kick in. It's always there. But you have to be there yourself to hear it. So your inner tutor will kick in. And more, you're going to find yourself being danced. By that, I mean, you'll find yourself doing, saying, writing things that didn't come through the mind first. You just knew it was the right thing to do, and you just kind of watch yourself doing it. And it doesn't really feel like you're doing it. It's really cool. And there's like really no way to explain this, except about the first, second, or third time it happens to you. You'll know what that feels like. You'll totally get it. And then you won't be able to explain it to anyone else. So anyway, just you will be so totally empowered as you do this. You'll amaze even yourself. It will be so much harder for fear to find any kind of a foothold in you going forward, because you're willing to just greet it and say, oh yeah, come on, sit down, let's talk. Now, here's maybe the best thing of all. Your fear too comes with a message. Your fear too is a divine gift. And all of this has been teaching you how to unwrap it. I'm so excited for you to discover this. What you thought was the enemy, what you thought was bad and terrible, you're going to discover it was just your higher self trying to talk with you, but you weren't willing to listen. And so it gets all magnified out of proportion by the running. You know how it is when we run from things, we're like a magnet, we bring them to us. So what you're going to discover is that in the fear, under the fear itself, by processing it, you will receive the divine embrace. You'll get the message that's there for you. And stay in heart, and you'll be able to see that it's a blessing that Source has been trying to bring to you. But you were in mind, and so you were just misinterpreting. Okay, so be in your heart, and you'll see everything. There's nothing that comes your way that's not a divine blessing. It's just a matter of educating your vision. Well, you don't have to educate anything. Heart vision is there. It's in heart. Okay, so just keep going to heart. Good day.